To create a child means a big responsibility. So you should be correcting your own physical and mental illnesses first. 2 years span. 2 to 3 years span. Meditating, doing asana, eating well, reading the scriptures, keeping mind clean of all ill vices. And then at appropriate time, they should copulate. Appropriate time. Even, that was, taken, it was consulted actually. The Vaidya usually would be an astrologer also. So they would do the planetary calculations, which would be the ideal time for you. It's a whole science behind it. Now you may say, why astrological calculations? I can tell you. Say, you had a Sandy last year or last to last year, a huge storm. If somewhere there is a tornado happening, if some place there is a storm happening, would that be a good time to have sex and create a baby? Do you think so? That would be a good time to do that? Nobody would ever in his senses even think about that. They would be running for their own life. The conception has to be in a very peaceful time. And when body is not sick. There are some rules for it. Nobody follows these rules. Hence, you have these brats coming in your life. Asana which a pregnant woman should do. Because her pelvic girdle will become more flexible. And at the time of the delivery, it will open up much better. The cervix will dilate much better. And without any pain, the baby will just come out like an athlete running out then. Or khas karke, once the delivery has happened, then it is said that the mother should take extra care for herself because her body, rasa, ojasa is all depleted. She has created a new person out of her body. So the chances of postpartum depression are more. So this whole nonsense of going back to work within 12 weeks, I don't think so it is a good thing for the woman or for the child. Minimum time, as long as she is breastfeeding, she should not be working. That is the Ayurvedic opinion. You can always go against it. You are already doing so many things which are against the rules and the regulations of the Ayurveda philosophy. Because that is the time when the mother is going to feed the baby. Not only she will have an emotional bridging with her baby, the baby will gain the emotional security with the love and the affection and the caressing which the mom is going to give to that baby. And if you leave this baby with a nanny, and they have these breast pumps where the mother is going to remove the milk from her breast, put it in that bottle, the bottle goes into the refrigerator, and whenever the baby cries, the nanny is going to put that milk in the baby's mouth. And if you are giving association of a bottle to the baby, bottle will always then be in the baby's life. Younger, milk bottle, adult alcohol bottle, the bottle will then always be there. This is the best pastime which I am seeing. The mothers put their little infants in front of the TV, put the cartoon on, and the child is going to grow up like a cartoon character himself or herself. They will catch the language. They will catch and learn the ways they speak, and the way they move, the way they act. The child is absorbed. The child's brain is like a sponge. It is going to suck up everything. अब बैठा दो उसको बॉलीवुड के गाने पर, 6 साल में होते ही लैला पटाता फिरेगा वो. right? I met a girl in New Jersey, must be just 13 or so, and she was depressed, really, really depressed. What for? She doesn't have a boyfriend. And everybody's making fun in her school. Everybody's making fun of her. You are ugly duckling, that's why you don't have a boyfriend. And that 13-year-old girl, she's yet to celebrate her 13th birthday. It was after, maybe in next 4 months, and she was depressed. This is the effect of the television watching. This is the effect of the society around her. What a shame. It's not that it is happening here only. No. Even in India, it is the same thing. There was this one experiment done, and it was observed that when mother holds the baby on her chest, the rhythm of the heart matches beat by beat. It's synchronized. Beat by beat, the heart matches, the rhythm matches. So in this rhythm, if the mom sings a lullaby, which has a story of great masters, bhaktas, Sant Mahatma, and she talks about, sings these wonderful shlokas to her child. You know what? The child will absorb all these vibrations. The child will become so strong in his psyche, and especially the brain part. Our brain receives the sound vibrations very well, and our sages, when they had designed the shlokas, it was not just meant for singing or chanting. The shlokas were meant to bring changes in the brain. How many of you would ever understand this? The intonation of Sanskrit verses, it has been recorded, experimented, it is in documentation that it affects your brain. Every sound does, as such, every sound will have an impact on your brain. But the Sanskrit chants, the way it is sung, the intonations, the pauses which are created when it is being said, it has a much deeper effect on the brain, to adult and definitely to a child. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrishyam Tattvamasya Laksham Ekam Nityam Vimalachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Namami Sadgurum Shantam Pratyaksham Shivarupinam Shirsa Yoga Pitastam Mukti Kamartha Siddhidam Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yen Tasmai Sri Gurave hridaya granthi Chidyante sarvasamsaya Kshiyante sarvakarmani Guru karunaya shive Yasya smarana matren Jnanamutpadyate swayam Sa eva sarva sampatti tasmat sapujyate gurum Nityam brahma nirakaram nirgunam bodhayet param Bhasayan brahma bhavam cha Dipo dipantaram yatha Dipo dipantaram yatha The neurons' size and functioning gets enhanced. Your all memories are in these neurons. And this kind of chant induces this calmness, induces this, beautiful experience that the child gets the great benefit. And it is said, nobody is great if the mom is not great. Right? Matri Devo Bhava. The first and the foremost to be worshipped is, it said, your mother. That's why in India, we don't have any one Mother's Day. Every day is a Mother's Day. We don't just have one Mother's Day. Listening to the Sanskrit chants or listening to the verses of our great masters when a mom sings these kind of shabad and vani and verses to the baby's brain is going to grow much better. Much better. Mom's duty doesn't end just by delivering the child. Mom's duty is actually going to begin now, and for minimum next 6 years, she should make herself available to that child. Loving child, caring the child. If she can do something from home, please go ahead. And the father's job is not just to give the semen to the woman. He should be supplying the money and the support and the protection because she's doing a much important job of taking care of that child. Not only physically, but emotionally, intellectually. So, the role of the man becomes important in providing that right kind of atmosphere. Say after 3 or 4 years, she can do something from home, please go ahead. But the mother should never be exhausted. The mother should not be stressed. The mother should be always happy, 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 because if she is happy, the baby will be happy. If the baby will be happy, the baby will grow up to become a happy adult. And happiness doesn't come from things and money. Happiness comes from within. How many mothers are understanding this? See, I am one person who is totally for women's liberation. But that doesn't mean that I am going to ignore the role of a mother. When she becomes a mother, she is like a god. She has created a being. So like God, she has to love, care, and give and give and give. And these little angels are themselves God. So a God is loving a God, and what a beautiful thing, isn't it? Poor guys, they will never ever have to experience this. The best what they can do is oblige by earning well and protecting home and maybe changing the nappy here and there. The feel of this having a baby in your body growing. This is a fantastic feeling. And that's the time when the mother should keep her mind involved in devotion and bhakti, and she should keep her intellect involved in learning or doing swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means reading good scripts and understanding those scripts, because via you everything is getting transferred to the baby. Everything. And I have a very strong opinion, which is backed up with the great classic scriptures, that if a man and a woman live like a yogi, they can give birth to a yogi, an accomplished yogi. If a man and a woman are meditators, they can give birth to a baby who would be so easily into meditating. I have a family who comes to me from Toronto. They were there in last week, satsang. And they have a 6-year-old boy. And he said, I have a question. I said, yes. He says, when I meditate, the 6-year-old boy is saying, when I meditate, I see so many colors. Is it correct? 6-year-old boy is saying this. I would kudos to the parents who gave such environment in Toronto, in Canada, to this kid, that this kid has grown up worshipping the master, the guru, doing the meditation, listening to the chants. What a good childhood these parents are giving to this baby. To help these young moms who are not very familiar with what to teach their young siblings, their children, I gave a thought and then I created a comic book series for children. We brought one, Toyo. Then the second one is now out. That is the story of a girl called Millie. So that, with that comic, the children with all those colorful pictures, and they can enjoy the story, they can see the character, they will learn something out of it. And for God's sake, please don't give your children the PSPs. You are killing their brains. You are doing that. You are harming their brains. If you really wish your kids goodness and well-being, take them out in the grass court, let them play basketball, let them play table tennis, lawn tennis. Teach them chess. The best brain exercise is chess. Best. To sharpen the abilities of the brain, chess should be taught. Don't do anything which will hurt their brain. Don't. So I am absolutely against these violent games, soccer. And that too when they play without the helmets, although they do wear a helmet. But still, the brain is the most soft organ in your body. Yes, the skull is a hard case on the top of it, but it should be still protected. Any injury on the frontal lobe is going to change the personality of the child. One of the leading neurologists in California, Dr. Daniel Amen, has done research of last 20 years where he has now documented it that violent games or a fall which a baby had in a 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 6 years of age, the baby had a fall on a cement floor, on a wooden floor, and there was no bleeding, nothing harm done, and parents thought, oh, it is all fine. But 8 years in, after 6 or 7 years of the time, the child became so frustrating, so angry, so bully, so brat, so hyper, won't sit, and is fighting with everybody, and they couldn't understand what's going wrong. They went to the psychiatrist. Psychiatrist started giving drugs, to calm the child. Not working, becoming more worse, more worse, more worse. And finally, when they ended, in his clinic, he does this colored scan. And when the scan was done, they found out that there was injury on the frontal lobe. In some cases, it is the temporal lobe. In some cases, the deep down, the injury happened to the hypothalamus region that was not functioning properly. That is why the child was having these problems. Now make sure that you don't drop your babies accidentally. Don't do that, ever. Need to be very, very protective. So the mother has to be attentive, not just caring and loving, she has to be very attentive.